Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining our latest meetup. Today, we're going to be focusing on Service Hub. Service Hub is definitely one of the more neglected hubs within HubSpot. So this is one that we really like doing some content about and talking about ways to get best use out of it and to use it in a more advanced way. And specifically today, we're going to be looking at the knowledge base features within Service Hub, which is something that we do find is generally quite underused, but there really is a lot of potential for the ways you can use that, not just for helping your customers, but also internally within your organization. So today, as is our normal practice with Service Hub, we have our Service Hub expert, Andrea, who's going to be leading the presentation today. And then we'll both be taking your questions towards the end. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Andrea, who will be taking us through from now.
Hey, Andrea. Hello, thank you, James. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I do like actually Service Hub because my background is on customer service, so this is why I use it. It's a lot. Actually, I started using HubSpot with Service Hub, which is quite different from most everyone. So I'm going to show you today here just some basic points about knowledge base and a case study as well on our customers. So the first question is whether you need or not to use Service Hub, a knowledge base actually. So here what it's going to cover, and here are the questions that you should ask yourself when you should start building your own knowledge base or not. So especially for early stage companies, it's quite a decision whether to spend time building a knowledge base. So you should ask yourself the number of questions your customer service is getting. If you have a complex product or service as well, could be really useful. When you start growing and you have like multiple language speakers using your product as well, because it's just not easy to get like a lot of foreign speakers to attend your users. And when you are growing as well, if you do not want to spend more money on more people, we know that this is not the idea of scaling. And of course, you gotta always keep an eye on the feedbacks you have. Sometimes if your customers are not satisfied, maybe that's because they're not getting what your product or service do. So this is quite the question that you gotta ask yourself, whether you need or not a knowledge base for your users. When you talk to a case study, I always like to use this example because it was a company that especially growth during COVID. The name is LangLearn, and the company is a SaaS platform for freelance teachers and also some institutions, and the end users would be the students itself. So it helped teachers to teach English for their students and improve accent. They had like a recognition of speaking, and then during COVID, it keeps like really huge because everybody was home, so everybody was looking for new things to learn. Also, schools need to go home and adapt to teaching like from computers. So this is when they started really growing. 2020 was. So the main challenges would be they started in Brazil, working in Brazil, and after that, a few other countries from Latin America start using it. And when they saw this opportunity, they went over to other countries such like in Asia or Europe. So there was a lot of different languages. And mostly for students, it was kind of hard because they were learning English. And then the knowledge base only in English wasn't enough for them. Also, the other challenge they were facing was, of course, to handle so many questions because you have more customers, then you have more questions, of course. And time for onboarding was too long. So the team was struggling to onboarding like all those new customers. And of course, the journey was growing because, especially with freelance teachers, because they don't have the time to learn a lot. They don't spend time. They don't like to spend time just on training. They just want to see the value that the tool have for them right on time. And if they don't see it, they just leave it behind. Okay, never mind. I don't want to spend my money on that. So the choose for a knowledge base on HubSpot was because it was mainly used by the sales and marketing team. So it seems the better way to go to keep all the teams using the same tool. So they hired Service Hub, and the idea was to use it as a self-service support and Q&A for early users, especially during onboarding. And considering that they should have access on many places because the interface for students wasn't the same from teachers, and then they need to know whether they should what it was the current knowledge base they should access. So the main features we used over there was of course the multilingual, because it needed to have. I remember that at the very start there was Portuguese, Spanish, English, and then they need to add like French and also Ukrainian at some point, because it was a really growing customer base over there. I don't know how many they are right now, but there are quite a lot. And the AI powered search functionality was also good because, especially for students, they don't tend to just use keywords to look for answers. They do ask the whole question, so it helped a lot. It makes it really useful for them during the study. Other thing that was really useful was that because since they had like different end users, they built one specifically for teachers and other one for students. And as a plus, they did an internal team knowledge base as well. This helped a lot because the customer service was always sending questions to the developer team, and then it reduced it a lot because they really contributed with a lot of extra information about APIs and how it was working, what they could do or not. So they helped the team to get the answers more quickly to the more technical questions. Other thing was the analytics, which is quite useful and easy to learn to get the most of it, because they established a routine of taking a look on all articles that were being read and also the ticket subjects. And as long there was a specifically one article that was doing good, they take a look and use it if it was really good because the subject or because it was really impacting on the volume of the tickets. So the subject needs to match each other. And if you had like an article that wasn't getting that much visits, they should like always take a look and see if there's a way to write it better, if it was a lack of maybe images or videos. So this was a monthly routine to take a look on all this data. So some results they found out like in just a few weeks was the customer satisfaction, not only the effort score, but as well as the NPS. So it was there was a huge growth on that. The onboarding time, they reduced it up to 1 week. It was 3 weeks before. So that's why, because especially again with freelance teachers, they didn't have to spend time like doing a lot of training, so they just had like one first meeting trying to understand how it works, and then the team just showed them how you can find this over here, you can find this over here. So the information was there for whenever they needed. It wasn't like a lot of information when you are learning something new, so you don't just can handle all this information. So it's better when you have it when you really need it. Another nice result was the engagement with the tool itself. So it was tracked by the development team. They noticed that there are some key features that were being more used. And this happened mostly because when you start understanding the tool, when you have the information you need when you need it, then you tend to use it more and try to explore more. So we noted that this really helped during the engagement time. And how was this reduction happen? So the main metrics that were tracked, it was during like up to 6 to 8 months, was the average monthly support tickets that really do go down. The time spent for each agent, so the questions were more specific. They were not that open questions because they usually we noted that before any reach out to the customer service, people tend to understand a little bit more by reading the knowledge base. So hires, of course, the team was more with less tickets and less time on onboarding, especially as a small company. You don't want to hire a lot of people. You don't have the time to train people. So this helped a lot. So they keep it small for a long time before like really start to needing more employees. Also, as when the access of knowledge base was growing, the customer service contacting was decreasing, so this is quite what were expected. And the customer retention also was up, mainly again for due to the usage of the teachers themselves, because they start to getting that time to first value. They see the value on the tool. They were understanding the tool like more faster. So that's why they tend to stay, and they see why they were paying, and they were getting the value they needed for that. And as I mentioned before, one of their knowledge bases that they used was the internal one, to mostly be to improve like the relationship with the development team. But we also built some internal knowledge base for other companies, and it seemed like a good way to help you with, especially with new employees, or to have the information centralized. So this is quite an interesting usage as well. So when you should consider having one, like an internal one, actually I would say right now, because it's gonna save you a lot of time. You're gonna save like your employees time for new hires. It's easy, you have the information, you just need to put information in one place and everybody has access to it. If you are growing, if you're hiring like a lot of new people, it's also useful, so you don't spend like a lot of time with different meetings, onboarding meetings. So this tends to reduce it. You just need to show where they can find the information, and then you can like reunion like a lot of sectors in just one place, and then they look for what they need. A few topics that I think they are quite useful to have on an internal knowledge base would be onboarding. So you can have an easy way to every new employee find what they need. You can have it like from different perspective of views, like onboarding like it's the same for everyone, or specific for a tech team, or maybe the customer service team, marketing team. So they have like different needs from onboarding perspective. General company information, which is quite useful as well. So you can have like in one place, you can have templates for all presentations they need, brand guidelines. These are not just useful for marketing teams, it's important for all customer facing teams that they have access to it. Safety policies and all the relevant company information that you think your employees should have. You can also use it as a way to organize it better, the needs from your technical team itself. So sometimes they are tired of always being receiving the same questions, so they can build like an internal knowledge base one, so they don't need to like keep all the time like answering the same questions that people usually do. And another topic that are quite useful are the calendar, so you can like have in one place just when there are holidays, vacations of your team, all product releases, so everybody stay on track with what's new, what it changed. So especially for your sales team, they don't lose themselves like during a presentation. Any events that you do host, and then you can keep the information all together, like results, any news are relevant for your team, for specific areas. So this is quite a way to keep everybody on the same track in the company. And this is pretty much an overview of how we use it, knowledge base, for a few companies. So if you want to know more, we're here to help you with that. And yeah, this is pretty much really an overview of that.
Awesome. Thanks, Andrea. I can see a few questions coming through in the chat on here. Seems quite a few of these are actually focused on the internal side of things. So question that's coming up quite a bit is around the security and the access for a knowledge base if it's made internal. So what different options do you have for restricting access to a knowledge base if it's something that's going to be used by an internal team?
Yeah, it's HubSpot offers like a really nice tool. You can have limit access to even customers access, or you have different levels of access for employees, management employees. So we can set a whole different level of access to users.
Gotcha. And is that through what username and password, or how does that get set up?
Yeah, yeah. You need to sign in, sign up for access, and then you're gonna be requested to use a password for that.
Gotcha. And then a couple more general ones here, like what kind of content can you put on a knowledge base? And I assume that's sort of talking about the kinds of like physical content you can put, the kind of media, etc. Because I know you've already talked quite a bit about use cases. So, like, yeah, what kind of content could you get in a knowledge base article?
Yeah, you should always consider to put yourself on your user's shoes, actually. So you have users that do like reading, you have other ones that do like watching videos and images. So it's always best to cover it all. So you have like, you make sure that everybody has the access to the information they want in the way they want to. So HubSpot offers all these options for you, and also the easy way to change the language, so also useful as well. That's what I would recommend.
Awesome. And then a more technical one here as well. Um, just someone's asking, like, how exactly is it accessed? Like, where does the knowledge base live?
uh, would be like on the content, you mean? Like you can build it on inside HubSpot, so it's just like a more detailed landing page, and the access to it, you can actually, you should add in all relevant touch points your user have. So in app, maybe in your website as well. I'm not sure this is quite the question, but yeah, this is
Yeah,
it.
I just typed a follow up. So would it be part of the website? So I guess how does it how does it sort of fit in with the rest of the website that you have if you have a knowledge base as part of a website?
Yeah, you usually do add an access to their knowledge base, but is different from a website from a marketing perspective. So you you need to make sure that this is visible, but the right one. Like if you do have like common questions for a new user, they should be more related to that. You can also like have different, as we saw before, like different knowledge base for different cases. So maybe if you have like a really uh, a really hard to understand product, maybe you should have like one specific for leads, for example, and this should be like part of your website. And after that, you can have like a more technical knowledge base, which could be on your product itself, like in app. Quite useful.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it's kind of a bit like with ours. Like if you take ours for example, our internal, it's like KB is in knowledgebase.hubstart.io, and then we've got like / and then onboarding for our new employee onboarding, and then we could have like um, slash tech, like /tech for our sort of team's resources. So same thing would really apply to any company-wide internal, or indeed for something that's external as well. If you wanted to break it down in that way, how do we use knowledge base in line with the other tools? For example, we're using chatbots and we're also using like support tickets. How do we kind of mix those in? That's what I'm saying.
This is pretty good, actually, a pretty nice way to use it. You can have access to your knowledge base using your chatbot as well. So you can have like a first attempt of solving an issue just by checking on knowledge base. And if it's not okay, then you can like contact an agent if necessary. And what we can see that most of the times that's not necessary actually, because if you do have like a well a built knowledge base with all the information, most of the time the chatbot is just a quick way to access these articles to solve your problem. And even so, when we talk about tickets, they are useful as well because you can easily attach like the articles themselves on the any email replies or on help desk or on chat conversations. So they are easy to access because they're all integrated. So you can like use uh, keywords for finding them and easily add to your thread conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely a lot of power in that. I mean, I love the fact that you, if you've got your support form or you've got your chat form, like we can just pop up and say, does this answer your question? We could completely head off that question into your case study earlier. Um, that that's probably one of the major things that's really led to such a drop in the number of tickets that they're getting. The fact that someone's going to log a ticket, probably not bothering to look at the knowledge base, as so many people may take the easy option, try and contact the team and ask a question that's already been answered. So be able to put that in their face right there and then, that definitely helps a lot rather than just having the knowledge base as a separate thing. And that's one of the really good things about HubSpot in general, just the fact that it's also like so interconnected and you can use all of these tools together, not just in Service Hub, but like across the spectrum.
Yeah, it is. And actually, the recent users like is different from I don't know our parents itself themselves because they are more used to call for support, and people don't do this anymore. They just wanna the answer like right away. They wanna wait for someone to talk to you, and then you have like all this time waste. So they don't want this neither.
Exactly, yeah. Um, can we use AI with the knowledge base yet, and how, if so?
Oh yeah, totally. It's been really useful actually. This is a more recent tool. So on this case study, we didn't have at that time for building, but you can use AI while you are writing articles. You can use it as well for have like the information for finding this article on Google itself for SEO. And it's quite helpful because again, when we talk about small companies, usually you don't have the help from marketing team because they are more focused on getting new leads and getting like new people to your company, and they don't want to spend their time building new articles or knowledge base. So this is quite helpful for customer service team. So they can handle by themselves, like building the tools they need to serve better.
Yeah, no, for sure, massive time save. I was talking to HubSpot about this topic the other day as well, because yes, you can bring up the knowledge base in chat already just by it kind of like a search like Google essentially, where you put in a few words, it will try and find those keywords in an article and push them things back. But with the HubSpot AI features that are coming on now, that sounds like that's really going to advance more, and like hopefully that's just going to mean that we're able to serve up like better answers depending on what questions people are asking, and ultimately that's just going to reduce the number of tickets people send. If we're giving them the answers more of the time, then less reason to log tickets. So that's exciting changes are happening even now with here the knowledge base.
Yeah, it gives a lot of power to your team.
For sure. All right. Yeah, I think that is all we've got now on the questions. So I hope that was all useful to everyone, and you've got a better idea of how you can leverage Service Hub and specifically the knowledge base better within your organization. Um, like all the hubs in HubSpot, there's always opportunity here to make your business more efficient and to save time and to um, reduce your costs and so on, and just generally make your business run more productively. As I said, it is the one that tends to get ignored a bit more compared to the marketing and sales. But really, those benefits are all there as well, and it is a missing piece of the jigsaw that you can really get some good returns and some good benefits from. So, for those of you exploring it as a tool, I hope this has been helpful. And if you do need to ask any other questions, or you've got sort of some more specific things that you want to talk about as to how the knowledge base could suit your organization, or indeed if you want some help from Andrea or another member of the team with setting it up, or helping you to tweak it and get it just right for what you want to do, and then feel free to reach out to us. You can either do that through our main email, which is hello@hubstart.io, or just go on to hubstart.io and go onto our contact us page and submit the form there. Either way, we'll get in touch with you and see if there's anything we can help. So thanks again for all your time today, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you.